Welcome back. Today's guest has been a part of an incredible project recently that you may know as War Machine on Netflix. It actually accrued something like 40 million views in the first couple of days and over 100 million views in over a month and just under a month, I believe. I've also seen him in a few other things. He's a comedian. He is involved in MMA in Perth. Look, there is probably that many professions to get through, but we're going to start with him being an actor. Thank you for being here, Blake Richardson.
Thanks for having me, man. This is sick. I'm pumped to be on.
I am like, this is the best the guest has ever done. You've got a suit on.
Yes. I like I said, I disclaimed before we started rolling that I've just come straight from an audition playing a finance bro. This isn't my usual pod attire, but I would have worn such sharp-looking things for you. But I do own all these clothes, so like it's not like
You didn't hire it.
Yeah. I wasn't like, I never wear this. I mean, this is literally pretty much exactly what I wore to the War Machine premiere. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. I feel like I'm there now.
Yeah, dude. Let's go. We'll walk on the red carpet right now. Where we go?
Well, look, I said we're going to start with you being an actor, but now I'm thinking about that and going, no, you were definitely a comedian and all that. Well, as far as I know, before being an actor. I kind of was paying attention to things a little bit. I've listened to some of the interviews you've done.
Yeah.
Did you start comedy like just after COVID or around that time?
During
COVID.
Yeah.
It was a good time to start stand-up comedy.
It was, yeah. Well, I mean, I would say I've probably been an actor first, but it's just so brutal to actually get a job. But yeah, I went to drama school in like 2017, I believe, in Whopper here in Perth. And then I graduated like 2018, came out, did like a year or two before COVID hit. And then when obviously everything went away and like there were no opportunities, I was like, I just got to get this performance stuff out of my body. And then stand-up was still there. We're still doing live stand-up because Perth had like a 48-hour lockdown or something, really tough. And then
it was hard times.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know, like acting might not happen and I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I just started doing some open mics and then, just kept going with it, man. It was really, really fun.
Yeah. So, okay. So you were an actor first then, or that's when you kind of, So I struggled a little bit looking into you because
I know it's only just begun.
There happens to just be this other man with a similar name to you. It's spelt exactly the same
and
pronounced the exact same. So some of the things that were coming up really funny because all of a sudden we watched the trailer recently for Midas Man and I'm like, oh, and then I was like, that's not the same Blake.
So Midas Man is coming out now?
What do you mean?
I didn't know. It's always
already out.
I've been sharing the credits with this fucking thing, and I was like, "Does this exist? What is this film?"
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So, well, funnily enough, I'd originally seen you. You played Sergeant Jameson in He Ain't Heavy. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, right.
So, David Vincent Smith made that film. It was 2024, I think it came out.
Yeah.
And that did really well. It was in like top 10 of Netflix for like a month, I think almost.
Oh, really? Dope.
Yeah, it did really well. And so we were watching that. And like I said, my partner recognized you and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then what happened is obviously everything came later with War Machine and stuff. But then I was looking into some of the stuff that you've been in. You were in Invisible Boys as well, which I hadn't watched. You did 2 episodes of that. Is that correct?
I did 2 eps. Yeah, I played the older brother of one of the main characters.
Okay, right. Yeah, I've seen the scene that you posted and you talk. Yeah, okay. So, but what was? There's a couple other. You were in the Alien film.
With Christian Kennedy. He's a Perth guy as well.
No Man's Land.
No Man's Land. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, Christian gave me my first ever acting on screen job. He's like a cinematographer and a director out of Perth. And he loves his sci-fi. No, it was a thing called Star Child, even earlier back. This would have been like, would have been 2016, it's before Whopper. Before drama school. So, he was a great guy. And then he made this, alien fan fiction film for like 50 grand.
50 grand?
Yeah, I think it was like privately funded or all off his own back. I don't know. But he got like, we went to Geraldton and he shot in these like World War I reenactment Anzac trenches. And yeah, it was like alien to the set of World War I. And I worked with him before and he was just like, I want you to come in and play, like the Bill Paxton character. So we did that and it was really fun. It was like a 3-day shoot in Geraldton. And funnily enough, it's like I'm pretty much playing the character I played in War Machine. Yeah, early days, years prior, he called it.
You look younger in it, and you've got like the hat on, you got like a cigarette and...
Oh yeah, doing all the acting cliches, smoking the cigarettes, doing all everything I could.
What was it? Was it a clove?
Had to be clove. Can't smoke those real ciggies on sets, unfortunately.
I wondered about
Cillian Murphy's, I think he smoked like 3,000 fake cigarettes or some shit.
What are they like?
They're fine. They're fine. Yeah, they're actually hard to... they're like kind of hard, feel like harsher on the draw. So like if you're trying to, obviously you never want to look like you don't know what you're doing. So you actually want to kind of draw and hold it in and do all those things and as you would a normal cigarette, but it's kind of fucking herbal and yuck.
You don't feel anything though?
No. And it burns different because it's just like tea almost, you know, it burns really quick.
Yeah, they've got to almost be careful how they film them because I feel like sometimes depending on how the scene's filmed, you can tell more.
You can.
Yeah.
And continuity's tough because if you start a cigarette here and it was this long and then the next shot it's like this long and, you know, it becomes a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, you try and be selective with it.
It's all one take. You got to make sure it's all one take.
Exactly right. Yeah. Well, I remember that he had like a huge packet and I would just, every take just get a fresh one. So they were all kind of roughly the same length and just keep moving through it. So they're the lengths you'll go to just to not be normal. Just do a scene without the cigarette. How about that? And I'm like, nah, it's essential. It's essential. I look tough.
Have you ever smoked cigarettes? Like for a period of time or?
Not sober. Yeah. No, I'm not a smoker. I'm a vapor. I'm, not currently. I've been off the vapes for a long time, but when it was a lolly stick, it was much easier.
Yeah, I smoked for 10 years, so that's where my intrigue comes from. I always see it in movies, and I've always been like, I wonder what they're like. Because I think you can buy them on Amazon. I've always been curious.
You should get yourself some, man. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah, I could smoke without actually dealing with, surely there's some negative effects of the clove cigarettes. If you're Cillian Murphy and you've smoked 300 of them, maybe that's not ideal.
I think it's in the thousands, bro. I think in like Peaky Blinders, he's smoking every scene, but
that's crazy.
It seems to be okay.
At least you got to do it once.
Hey, got to do it. Yeah.
The He Ain't Heavy, how did that come about? Because that obviously wasn't shot in, it came out in 2024, but that must have been shot earlier.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a little bit. I mean, it was a pretty quick turnaround. David Vincent Smith, we knew of each other. We have a mutual friend who's an actor here in Perth named Alex Snell, and she played the female lead in the short film version of He Ain't Heavy. That eventually he used to get funding for the feature with Sam Corlett and all that stuff. So I just knew of each other through there, and it was just like a straight offer. He was just like, look, you want to play this cop in like one scene at the end. It's not a big role, but you come in and you arrest him, and I don't know, you might have one line. I was like, yeah, man, sounds good. No worries, I'm here. Let's do something. So, and I went to drama school with Sam Corlett, who plays the lead. He was the year above me, I believe so, but we just knew of each other. So yeah, I just jumped in. It was just something to do, man. It was like a one-day thing.
He's from Perth then, or?
Sam Corlett?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, well, he studied in Perth. I don't know if he's from Perth originally, but he went to Whopper for 3 years and studied there. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, because I looked up. So Sam Corlett I was familiar with, and then I think I hate it when stuff's spelt like this. Hate's a strong word. I hate it when stuff's spelt like this, and there's such a risk. Is it Layla George or?
Yeah, I think it's Layla George.
I think there we go. I might have said it right. I wasn't as familiar with her.
Yeah.
And she was obviously the lead in that. And so total random, you probably already know this. I was blown away by it. My missus didn't care. I was like, how amazing is this? She was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
go on.
Her dad is Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio, yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
And she was also with, I don't know if they were married. She was with Sean Penn.
She's married to Sean Penn.
I was like, that's just such a random thing being
There's
Australian.
She's been in the vicinity of some cinematic royalty.
Right. I mean, I love Vincent D'Onofrio.
Me too.
I used to watch Criminal Intent when I was like 10.
Right.
For Law and Order.
Yeah. I was like, okay, of all his, that's the one you like, yeah.
Weird.
I always got Private Pile. You're going to say the not Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, that's right. He's like bald in that. Yeah, he's really young. Yeah. I mean, he played obviously Kingpin and stuff in Daredevil, but that just kind of blew my mind. And I was like, that's a weird connection.
Totally.
But like, what was it like working with like, especially if you went to drama school with Sam, what was it like kind of being in that scene and just that environment?
It was cool. Oh, man. I mean, look, it was cool to watch Sam do his thing. I mean, it was obviously one of those types of roles where, he's playing a drug addict and he's, lost a bunch of weight for it and he's got like the prosthetic teeth in. So it was like a very character-y performance, which was cool. I was just like, oh, let's watch Sam do his thing, But for me, man, I'll be perfectly honest. Like I didn't have much to do. I was just kind of, that experience for me was like a little bit painful in the sense that, I wanted to be doing what Sam's doing. Like I've been on the sidelines for years and I've backed my own abilities and I've been like, just fucking give me a chance. Like I can do something more. And and it's a brutal industry and it's, you got to get given a job a lot of the time and someone's going to take a chance on you. So I didn't like that experience purely because it was like watching someone fuck my wife. Just sitting on the cuck chair while they're like, all right, now just sit back and watch me do this. And I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah. And he's fucking her good too, right?
And he's great. Sam's great. And look, Sam and I always somehow, funny trivia story I'll get into. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but fuck it. it came down to Sam and me for 15 in War Machine. I have it on
really?
good authority. It was between the two of us, which is crazy because we don't look exactly the same and we have very different energies. And like, I really respect Sam's skill set. I think he's a fantastic actor. We're very different. So, I mean, that makes sense if they're going in two different directions, I guess. But yeah, Sam and I always come down to the wire for things.
That's funny too, because you're in like a meeting and they're like, oh, it's between you and Sam. And you're like,
Of course.
you're like, real talk. He's fucking done Vikings. Can you just give me this one?
Oh, dude, all I would do is just be like, well, he's done some stuff. Maybe we should mix it up a little bit. Maybe people want to see something else.
Give me, with the voice too. They're like, we're less inclined to give it to you now.
Come on.
This is what 15
Can you get some
sounds
bass
like.
in your voice?
Rewrites. This is 15.
Totally. But no, it was a painful experience in the sense that it was just like, fuck, I want to have my shot, And then, and then shortly after, I got it, which was cool.
Well, yeah, I guess, asking the question is more from a perspective of, I guess, seeing him do it and then you hadn't had like a big role yet. I always wonder what it's like in those environments, being in that position, because there is that side of it, but then also seeing someone do something that's intense and kind of, it's cool to know that you had that. Because some actors will play it real cool and they're like, no, it was good to see him do his thing. But I like that you're like, nah, like it made me want to do that. Like, because to me, that's what you think as a viewer. You would think that would be what's going through your mind. But everyone in Hollywood's really cool.
No, we're just, everyone's just, God bless him. God bless him. I was like, fuck you, Sam. Let me get in there. I'll lose that weight. I'll put the teeth in. No, Sam is the best. But
I'll smoke meth, actually.
I'll actually do the meth. No, yeah. But it is, man. It's a frustrating thing, because, I mean, look, the reality is with this industry, as a lot of people do know, is it's like there are some incredibly talented actors who just don't get their shot. And, the business is a huge part of it. People love to pretend that it's not, but it's so much of it. I mean, one of the things that I hope to do, which is not inspiring at all, is that if I ever get my career to the point where people want to hear from me, I actually want to give them more of a reality check, not in a negative way, but just so I think that for young up and coming actors, they put too much on themselves. They think too much is in their control when really none of it's in their control, and it's brutal to accept that. And it's also not good to just focus on the things that you can't control. But from my experience, understanding what is truly out of your control allows you to focus on the very small things that you can control and let yourself off the hook. Like I have actor friends who sometimes, they worry about what shirt they're going to wear in the audition. And I'm like, do you think that they're going to be like, they're perfect. They're incredible. Shame about the shirt. Next. You know what I mean? Like it's that's not how it works. And 99% of the time they're going with a profile or they've changed that they need this person to be Asian or they need to, whatever it is. They have a vision that it's like, it's so not up to you. So just do what you want to do. Like do the thing that you like and that's all you can do. And, it kills me. There's like, I won't say names, but there are actors out there that are like, man, you just got to go in there and, do the job to book the job. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? Most of this business, unfortunately, is to do with profile and momentum. Like if you're coming up against someone who has done more work and they have more Instagram followers and they have they're going to be a better business investment in the eyes of the industry. It's just simple as that. If I have 1 million Instagram followers and they were on a TV show for years, the money people in acting are going to want to take a chance on them over you. That's just how it is. It doesn't mean that you don't get your shot like it happened with me with War Machine, right? Like I was a complete unknown in a great role, but that's just like, I think most actors that are up and coming need to know that it doesn't matter what you do. Most of the time you have no chance at that role. So what's left? Do a version that you walk away going, I don't even care if I got that. That was sick. I had a good time. They are fools if they don't hire me. That's what you want to aim for, I think, when you walk away from it. That's the only way to survive, man. Because if you still keep thinking, I've got a chance, this one, it could be this one, you just burn out. It's too tough, man. Too much rejection. Whereas if you go in going like, there's not a chance. They're going to get Henry Cavill for this. What are we talking? They're never going to hire me. But you know what? Fuck them. I'm going to give them something. I'm going to give them something to remember me by. Then you have fun. And I think it's that for me is, I think it's a narrative that's not out there.
I love that, man. That's a great mindset. And I feel like you just get to enjoy it. It's like that kind of goes for anything.
Yeah.
For acting, it sounds like if you don't do that, you're just going to have a miserable time, which is pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just so we're on the same page, though, if it's between you and Henry Cavill, you're fucked.
You're ruined.
Yeah.
Ruined.
Yeah. I don't care if you're Asian and he's not and they need an Asian. How do you reckon they would go if they're Blake, look, that was great.
Yeah.
We just really need you to be Asian.
You know what?
Do you reckon you try and make it happen?
This is tough, but I think I could do it. Like,
I reckon there's something there.
Okay, so let me just say this. There is the Purple Wiggle. His name's John Pierce. He was in Justice Crew or whatever.
Oh, okay, yes.
Right? He's half Filipino.
You guys kind of look similar.
Dude, if you get a photo up, I don't know often if you can get photos up. There is, if you Google John Pierce Father's Day cover, there is a photo of him with his child on a Father's Day Sunday Times magazine. Tell me it does not. I showed it to my agent. And he was like, "When did you do this?" And I was like, "That's not me." And he goes, "What?" It's crazy. Like everyone wants to think they're a snowflake. I don't know if it's.
Might be able to get it on there, but then I'll put this in the edit.
I'll put it in the edit, please. It's crazy. The side profile.
I almost don't need to see it because in my head, I listened to a little bit of Justice Crew when I was younger.
Yeah, of course.
And I actually have a mate, so he's a rapper and his kid's a rapper as well, and I think they kind of work with some of the guys that that were in Justice Crew and that.
Yeah.
So I weirdly just can remember what he looks like. Is it coming up?
Oh no! There's like a side profile one. It's like the cover. He's like holding that. I mean, that's exactly what I described. But there's like a side profile one, which I think was the cover, and he's like holding his kid up.
Yes. Austin's like, "What do you want from me, man? This is a photo."
That's not it. That's
Be
not
more
it.
Asian, Austin.
We don't. But even that's pretty wild.
That is, dude. I know. I can picture
and
it.
he's half Filipino, so like, there's
You know what
definitely.
it is? You look a bit younger. No shade to him.
Okay, no shade.
That's
there.
why.
No shade.
No. You look younger. That's what it is.
I mean, you're ticking all the boxes of what I'm saying.
Can you, Austin? No, okay. In between you getting the photo up, could you have a baby just so he can hold? So you can hold the baby.
Just to hold this up. I mean, you can see it there. We have the same hair structure. So I think I could.
You can send me the photo and I will do it in the edit.
We'll do it in the edit.
I can see it. Yeah.
But Austin, there's no shade to you, brother. You have literally done exactly what I thought. He's holding a child's side profile. You're like, that's.
I'm giving you.
That's not it. It's still not it. It's like a closer.
He's gonna watch this and be like, "Is there a reason you went through the entire photo shoot of me and my baby?"
Yeah.
I
All
swear
the
to
purple
God.
links on the Google search for him.
At least it wasn't between you and him for War Machine, because they would have just fucking not even.
They'd have been like, what? They would have been confused. They would have been like, isn't that the guy?
Is this like
we chose the same guy?
A Cole Sprouse, Cody Sprouse situation?
Dude, they just
swap you in and out throughout the role to see if
they easily
notice.
could. They easily could.
Dude, mentioning that, getting onto that, because that's obviously the biggest thing you've done so far, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's so funny, right, with War Machine, because we watched it and we're watching it, and my missus loves army stuff, right?
Sure.
And halfway through the whatever happens, we could talk about it. People have seen it. It's been out for ages.
Sure.
The alien thing or whatever, you see it.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh. Right? Because she's not super into sci-fi, right? She goes, I wanted it to be an army movie. And then I'm like, no, we'll give it a chance. And then it came out and sci-fi movies, because they're in abundance, right? Even Tom Cruise has done ones like, I remember watching
Edge of Tomorrow?
I love that
Dude, Edge of Tomorrow is incredible.
That movie.
Are you talking about Oblivion?
Yeah. So you already knew, right?
Yeah,
you already know. It's not bad.
Nah.
It's just one of those movies where I can't even remember it.
That's
right?
fine. Edge of Tomorrow, though.
Edge of Tomorrow fucking cranks, right? But sci-fi movies can be really hit or miss like that. And I was like kind of working myself up. I'm like, let's just watch it. And we both watched it and immediately were like, it was so refreshing that was so much better than we expected.
Great.
The actual movie was good. But also, I don't know, if you had have explained it to me, I just wouldn't have wanted to. If someone was like, yeah, there's a big robot, it's trying to shoot him, I'd have been like, oh man, I've seen that. But the way they structured the movie, it was really focused around you as characters. So it wasn't just constant CGI explosions where I was just like, I've seen this 100 times. Like, to me, you all managed to play people that were memorable. And even Alan, who's at a risk of like being a jacked guy in an explosion movie.
Sure.
His character was still memorable. I feel like the writing was actually a huge part of why this was good.
Oh, that's
I don't know
cool,
if
man.
you feel the same way. Like when you read the script, maybe you had an opinion.
Dude, I mean, first of all, that's awesome to hear. It was written by Patrick Hughes as director and a friend of mine, James Beaufort. They co-wrote it together, so they'd be chuffed to hear that. Because that was the intention, Patrick Hughes, first of all, I'll quickly talk about Patrick Hughes, the director. I had seen a film that he did. He's an Australian director. It was sort of like I believe it was his directorial debut in 2011. It's a movie called Red Hill. For my money, it's one of the best Australian films made. It's one of my all-time favorites. And what he basically does, without giving away the plot, because I really recommend going to watch it, he hides a genre within a genre. So it starts off as this kind of obvious Australian outback cop thing where you're like, okay, cool, I get it. And then 30 minutes in, you're like, what? And then you're like, all of a sudden you're in like a Western, and then you're in a slasher. and then you're in like this whole other thing, and it just like it's like 4 movies within one, and the cinematography is beautiful, and it's so different to normal Australian content. So I knew when I read the script for War Machine, he was doing the same thing. Like he was hiding genres within genres. And for my money, it was like, there's not a lot of movies that are out there that do that, but also it had a consistent tone. Like Patrick knew what movie he was making. I think a reason that the film is so successful is because it's refreshing. It's not trying to be something else. It knows what it is, right? And it sticks to that lane and it doesn't apologize. And I think people, especially when times are very serious, they've enjoyed that. They wanted a good popcorn movie with some like characters in there that, you know, all that stuff. So big praise to Pat Hughes and James Beaufort. They're awesome. And for me, when I read the script, man, so I got the audition just the same as any other audition. You usually get 2 scenes. I read the scenes. I read the description of the character. I was like, okay, sounds like my kind of wheelhouse. Alan Ritchson was already attached. I was a big fan of Alan Ritchson. I was like, that's cool. I did the audition. I just did it how I would do any audition, just so like, this is my idea. And then I got told that I was put on hold. Now that's happened to me many times over my career, and then you just hear nothing. So it doesn't even raise my heart rate anymore. I'm like, okay, fucking, you're not going to try and fool me on this one. But then they said they want to do a director's callback with me, but I was going to be in Canada at the time doing a 4-week holiday with my fiance. And so I did the Zoom callback, and then they said they wanted him to be Southern. So I changed the accent and we did it again. And I did it on Zoom with Pat Hughes, the director, the casting director, and I believe someone else was there. And it felt good. Felt like and the scenes where there was one scene in the mess hall where I'm sort of like, you know, we're talking about 81 and I'm like, that guy won a fucking silver star, all that thing. And then the second scene was the emotional scene where I confront his character at the village. And
that's what I posted?
Yes, and say we need a minute. So it was that. And so, you know, first scene you get to show that cheekiness, and the second scene you get to see if you can sort of do some more vulnerable sort of stuff. Felt good. I didn't hear anything for 4 weeks, man. I heard nothing for 4 weeks. So I was like, it's done. It's dead in the water. And it hurt so bad because that feeling that I was speaking to you about prior I just need someone to give me my shot. Like, I know I can do this. I told my agent specifically, I was like, if we don't get it, please don't give me the whole like, hey man, this is still a big win. You know what I mean? Like, just let me kill myself. And eventually, yeah, he gave me the call when I got back to Perth after 4 weeks. I was just heading off to host an MMA show, Eternal, that I work for. And he gave me the call and he basically said, oh, you know, this is what's happened and blah, 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 blah. And they were thinking this, and then they went to this guy. And then he said, yeah, and then they want to offer you the role. And then he started crying. And I was like, are you crying? And he's like, yeah, man. I'm like, why are you crying? Did I get it? And he goes, yeah, dude, I'm crying because like, this is like, you know, this industry is so hard, man. And some people just never get their turn. It's not fair, but you're going to get your turn. And I was like, oh, and then I started crying. I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, it was really emotional because he's been with me since I came out of drama school in 2017, 2018, and he's just backed me. And that was the cool thing. He was right about it. It was like, no matter what happens in my career, like I've achieved my dream. My dream, you know, I was like a chubby working class kid from Perth. I wanted to be in a big movie. That was my whole dream. So I was like, fuck, we did it. This is sick. And then, yeah, the role itself, like 15, I knew that there was a lot to him. You know, yeah, he's the comic relief, he's the jerk, but he's also got heart. You know, there was so much in the script that I was like, man, I'm going to get to show a lot of range here for someone who's not the lead. Alan's the lead, you know? So yeah, it was a dream role, man.
Well, yeah, you were like the secondary character the way I felt like. I feel like you had literally the second amount of lines to Alan, right? So it was like, it's not like you're, because just being in it still would have been good if you were any of the other characters. But you got like, it really was a shot because I feel like, I don't know. Like when I saw you in it, I was like, this will be a thing where he's like maybe just in it, not that much, right?
Of course.
And I was just like, there's actually tons of dialogue in this.
Yeah.
And it's what made it better, right? It's like, I love dialogue heavy movies. It's like, I'm a big fan of like Tarantino. I'll watch a movie for 3 hours where it's heaps of talking. I'm fine with that. And usually I prefer that because I feel like you end up liking the characters more.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's very, very short, stagnant shots and then explosion, action scene, and it's just kind of repeated.
Yeah, you don't care about him. You're just like, oh, that guy's dead. Who's that?
Yeah. You're like, yeah, like, you know, and I feel like this one, it was a good build too, because, you know, there was the start, obviously, where you guys kind of weren't really like Alan's character was a bit weird, and it kind of was like you guys were all a bit kind of standoffish and everything was strange. And you built to the emotion in a good amount of time too.
Yeah.
Didn't feel rushed, because I don't like, I call that out too when I watch it. If it feels rushed,
Yeah.
I'm sort of a bit like,
Well, you got to make them care about the people. You know, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that, I don't know. I genuinely was just refreshed, and Netflix movies are a scary thing. There's so many of them now.
Sure.
And they'll come out, and sometimes I'll just, and I'm not going to name things and put other people's movies down, but there's been a couple recently, and we watched one and I was like, I just felt nothing when I watched that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's just, and it's hard to do, but from the acting perspective, man, I was like, that's my job. My job is to make you, my whole intention with 15 was just like, I just want people to feel, because I knew what, you know, where his story goes. I just want people to feel like they knew him. I just want people to be like, dude, I feel like I know that guy. I feel like, you know, that was the whole intention. And I knew that I had the opportunity to do that because he had enough scenes, he had enough screen time, and he had enough, you know, sort of, I guess, emotional states that I could show, where I got to show like a full journey and a full arc. Because that is my thing too, man. I'm a fan of film. I'm a fan of acting. And I love when I care about a character. And then whatever happens to them on this, I'm all in, you know. And if it's like, you know, we are in this age where, you know, studios and films are so worried about time and attention span that they'll give you 15 minutes to make the audience care. Whereas it's not enough time. Like, you need more time and opportunities to get audiences connected to those characters. Like, you know, one of my favorite films, Man on Fire, Denzel Washington, right? Classic. Tony Scott directing. That's a revenge movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's a revenge film. Dude, Dakota Fanning, spoiler, doesn't get kidnapped till an hour into that movie. 60 minutes in. 60 minutes they're making you care about him. Just behavioral scenes, beautiful, making you love that relationship. You see him, he's like going to kill himself. He's like an alcoholic. He's tortured. And then this girl brings him back, and then he's happy and he looks better. And then they take it from him. And when they take it from him, he could have killed a dog, and you would have been like, get that dog, kill that dog. That fucking dog deserves it. Yeah. You are so all in. And that's why that movie's great. It's like, but if they do that in 20 minutes, like they show a couple of scenes of Dakota being like, smile, Chrissy, and then they get kidnapped, it's not the same. It's not the same thing. So I don't know. That's filmmaking, you know, and it's separate. And I can't control that as the actor, but I knew with War Machine, I was like, dude, this is like, I have the chance to do this. So I took it really seriously in the way that every scene, and we shot them all out of order, I was like, okay, what is the specific human thing that I get to show here? Like, how can I, story-wise, do my job, you know, to push the story along? Yeah,
and look, I want to continue on that, but I have to just say, we just watched Man on Fire like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, dude.
Partner hadn't seen it, and I was like, let's watch this. Dude. And I remember thinking the same thing. I was like, fuck, this movie's longer than I remember, and it's good for it.
Yeah.
Did you see that they're remaking it?
No. Oh, no, I did. They make it into like a series, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it has none of the charm that the film did.
Sure. I mean, it's a tough follow, dude. Denzel, Tony Scott. Oh.
It also came out like 20 years ago. I just don't think we're at a point where it needs to have a remake.
Sure.
But the movie was so good.
But that's again with the times, you know, no one wants to take a chance on new IP. They're like, that worked. We'll do that again. Denzel, he's old now. We'll get a younger guy.
It works because it had Denzel in it. I mean, Denzel's like fucking 65 in The Equalizer 3, and you still watch it because you're like, it's fucking
Denzel, bro.
It's Denzel.
He's unbelievable.
Like, when you read the script, we're fucking spoiling this movie, all right? If you haven't seen War Machine, go and watch it. But when you read the script and you saw that you died, were you like, fuck?
No.
You kind of liked it?
I loved it. I thought, I loved it because I got the full script because I only had the 2 scenes. I got the full script when I was literally flying to Canada. So my partner was next to me reading whatever fantasy smut she was reading. And then I was reading the script for the first time and for Gary for my callback. And then on like page 10, you know, he comes into it at first. And I'm like, oh, look, honey, I'm here. And she's like, nice. And then, you know, I kept reading and I was like, oh, I'm in the next scene too. That's pretty cool. I was like, oh, I got a few lines. That's pretty dope. And then I kept reading. And then I was like, honey, I'm in it again. And she's like, stop interrupting me. I'm trying to read about dragon sex. And then, you know, I just kept going. And I was like, by the end of it, I was like sweating. I was like, dude, I'm like, this is like the second lead. This is fucked. So that was my sort of journey with it and just being like, this is crazy. But reading the fact that you know, I got to have that hero moment and the redemption arc and the fact that I knew the story was building you up. It was, in my mind, it was between 81 and 15. like this kind of brothers that don't like each other. It was a story about brothers in my mind a little bit as well. They kind of, you're on the journey with them and then they have this big emotional peak and then they kind of make up and then there's this like catharsis and it's like, okay, we're all good. And then obviously things go wrong and he has that hero moment. Like reading it on the script without even knowing how they were going to shoot it, I was like, dude, I'm going to be able to leave an impact, story-wise by the fact that I die. I mean, obviously it kills me for sequels, which would be fucked for payday wise. That would be, unless they bring me back as some kind of like War Machine hybrid robot thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
My brain is plugged into a little bot. 81, I hate you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I knew there was a chance
on Alan's back, like
that'd be
Black
great.
2 just come.
Yeah, and I'm like mocking him and stuff. And like, what are you doing that for?
Doing Thad impressions. So the only thing that bothered me about that, and it wouldn't have bothered you, just the only thing that would have been cool is the scene just after that's wild. So it would have been cool that if you were in that.
Okay, so you're speaking my language.
Dude, were you like, fuck?
I fucking was punching air because, I mean, I knew, again, it was just written, right? It was the Guardian chase, the War Machines chasing them in the Guardian. I had no idea they were going to do invisible edits and all this like, go and like just like sweeping it. I was like, are you fucking kidding? And the way I felt was, and this is, I'm kind of joking with this. I was like, so I do all the emotional heavy lifting. I push the story along and then you fucking ice me right before the sick cinematic scene. But,
did you watch them film that?
I was Devo. No, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I didn't get to, I'm dead.
I'm confused. I mean, yeah, I'm not totally aware of how they filmed that yet. Because I've seen them do it in a few movies now.
Yeah.
But I can't. If someone asked me like, how did they film that? I'm usually kind of pretty good. Where that I was like, how are they?
It was in a studio. There was multiple ways that they did it. They did it with like a real kind of the Guardian vehicle. They had like an external one, and then in the film it cuts to like the real external shot when we had the actual Guardian that drove, and then when we're inside the Guardian, it would be like in a studio. Like they built out more space for the cameras and stuff. So it's like cutting into changing in between there. But I don't know the real nuts and bolts of it because I wasn't there. But when I watched that scene in the premiere, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the best scene in the film. This is sick.
It's crazy.
It's so cool.
Dude, it reminds me, or whatever they're doing is similar. It could be different. What they're doing with the camera is different, but it reminded me, I think I first kind of saw it in like have you seen Kingsman?
Yeah, totally. With the church scene. Yeah.
Just the whole time, your eyes are like, even as soon as the first fight happens, you're like, this doesn't look right. They're doing something here.
Right.
And there's full behind it. I watched like a YouTube video on it once and they did explain it, but they're doing something with like frame rates and all different stuff. So the fighting just looks incredibly intense.
Yes.
And that's what it reminded me of. Like, and that's the kind of movie in a scene where you're sitting there and you're just like glued to it because you're just like, it doesn't look right and your brain can't work it out. And you're like, this looks so odd. And that was the only thing that bothered me. Like, but not bothered me. But I kind of just kept thinking like, fuck, if he just was there for 5 more minutes, he would have been in the tank.
Oh, dude.
I mean, you would have died.
Dude. I mean, yeah, I would have got iced anyway. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, there was a trade-off because, again, guys, go watch the movie. But at least my death got to have a moment. There was a bit around it. Whereas, people that were in the Guardian, it just kind of happens.
Quickly and gone.
Yeah, which is impactful in its own way. But look, man, I mean, the reception of it, the cool thing is it's like, we shot that for 3 months in like September till December 2024. Right. Wow. We shot it in Melbourne, we shot it in country Victoria, and we shot it in New Zealand to finish. And I knew, man, what we made was like, I mean, it was my first job, really, my first big job. But I made friends for like the entire cast. We all got along. Like some of my best friends in the world, like literally, like Jack Patton who plays 109 and Keenan Lonsdale, Daniel Webber, Alex King, 44, all these things. It was such a wild experience, almost like a religious experience. It was so cool. And then I just got put back by myself in Perth, hanging out the washing. After I just did the most unbelievable experience, like once in a lifetime, my dream came true. So 2025 was quite honestly the hardest year of my life by far. Like I was so depressed. And it's like I couldn't really express it to anyone because no one got it. Like no one was there. No one went through what we did. No one went through what we went through. Like it was like a war. I mean, the elation, like because acting is it's an isolating job. It's just you and your agent standing and you're taping with your acting friend in front of a fucking wall. Your banana is a gun. You know, they're pretending to be your son. I don't know, whatever you're doing. And then all of a sudden you come together and you have like a family and a tribe, and they're similar to you. They're weird, like artsy people. And you're making this huge blockbuster movie and in New Zealand on top of mountains with Alan Ritchson. And then they just send you back to normal life. It's cruel. You know, it was like nuts. And people were like, why are you so down? And I'm like, what? It was like coming off a 3-month bender and then just readjusting. So, look, all of that is to say, I wasn't aware that was a thing. I've since spoken to other actors and they're like, oh yeah, man, like you got to put things in place after a big job to come down. And my life is amazing, man. I've got a beautiful fiance, great friends, a great life. But yeah, if you spend 3 months doing that, your baseline is reset and then you just come back. It's crazy. I mean, I've joked about it when I was doing stand-up, but I would say it's like taking a shelter dog out of the shelter, giving it the best 3 months of its life and then putting it back in the shelter and being like, oh, Timmy seems a bit down. I don't know why. It's like, oh, I miss my...
Went from caviar to chum.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But it's more about community. It's more about the sense of belonging and, you know, doing what you love to do.
Man, I can only imagine. It's weird when you watch movies, and I'm not really interested in acting or anything like that. Sometimes I think about it or whatever, but it's as a viewer, you always... I mean, people, maybe they don't think about that. I think beyond that a little bit. There's the part of me that you would have as when we all have as kids and stuff, where the movie's real, you know, like those actors aren't, to me, those characters are real.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the part of you as you kind of get older where you start to realize, like, you know, these are just different people. But sometimes I try to stay away from that because to me, I'm trying to think.
The mystery, the majesty of it.
Just like, I just prefer to pretend it's real in my brain sometimes, which is a super immature thing to do. But I just, as a person, it just makes me happier. It's the same reason we go back and watch, like me, mine's like My Name is Earl if I'm having a hard day.
Great.
Such a ridiculously just dumb show where no one's like that in real life.
Yeah.
But it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So the point is like, you know, you have those two kind of sides to it. So you always do have that adult side of you that wonders that. You kind of go like, oh, what do they do after this? Or like, you know, are these people really even close after this? You know, in 10 years, are you going to be at your house and your phone rings and it's like, oh, hey, Alan, how you doing? He's like, hey, man, I was thinking about you, wondering what you're doing. Like, you think about that because you wonder how much people actually bond because you see them on a camera and you think, how can these two people not be close in real life?
Sure.
But then it's almost like the more that they aren't close in real life, it proves they're better at their job because they're just better at tricking you.
Yeah.
You know, those two people may never speak outside of this again. They're not friends.
Right.
Or you might be. But it's as a viewer, you ponder these things because you don't experience it where you've been on the other side now.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to like maybe be in a scene where it's super emotional and then cut happens and it's like, all right, man, I'm going to go for a piss or whatever. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that switched quickly.
Yeah, I thought we were in love.
I thought we were really in that moment.
I thought you loved me, Alan.
Yeah, what's that like? Is that jarring or like, because to me, acting's so emotional. You know, what were those scenes like?
Yeah, well, the emotional scene specifically was the scariest scene in the film for me. We shot it on day 5, which is very early. And I'm like, but this is the emotional peak. This is the most important scene of the film, from my character at least, of like, this is where we make everyone care. And yeah, it was day 5 and I spent the day, I'd never done that before. I'd never done on a big movie, had a scene like that. I knew how to act, you know, but I was just like, fuck, what do I do? So for me, I listened to music and I just tried to stay chill and neutral. And then, you know, the way it works in terms of coverage sometimes is that you'll start on one actor's coverage. They'll shoot all the camera angles on them. They start wide and they'll come closer and closer. And then they'll turn around and do the other actor.
Oh, so they don't cut in between.
Say again?
They don't cut in between or they do?
They cut in between, but it's like, so all the cameras are facing one way onto one actor and then they'll go wide and they'll keep moving in closer and closer until they're close up. Then they'll stop and then they'll change everything, turn it all around, set the other actor's background and then they'll shoot that way. But the point is that sometimes, depending on how you like to act, especially in emotional stuff, going second is worse because you've done the scene so many times that now it's becoming robotic. No pun intended. But, you know, it's like you're not really feeling it anymore because you've done the scene 15 times.
But what if there's back and forth? Are you saying that so you do all your lines, he does all his, but then if you're conversing with each other, it's not back and forth in the moment?
The camera's capturing the other actor's stuff first. You're still doing the scene each time, but then when they flip it around and it's like, okay, now here comes your close-up, so make sure you cry now. You're like, oh, I've done the scene 30 times and it no longer makes me emotional. You know, like I can't think about my dad running over the cat anymore. It doesn't work. You know, so that you fatigue. There's like an emotional fatigue where it starts to become, because really the first few times you do a scene for most actors is the most organic. It's because it's the first few times that you're doing it. You know kind of how the scene goes, but there's still this like newness to it where it gets you, you know? So that was scary as well because Alan went first and then it was me. And Alan, to his credit, was like, you know, because some movie stars I've heard, like they'll just, when their stuff's done, they'll just step away and then they'll just get like another body double in for you to do your lines to. I've heard Alan's not that guy. He gave me 100% the whole time. And he was like helping me, you know, because you need someone to act opposite. You need someone to keep giving you the, you know, the intensity of what was happening before. So he got me there and afterwards, you know, he gave me a big hug and he's like, great job, bro. Like he was very mentoring. He was very gracious, you know, because I was stressed and I was like, this is my big shot. Did I fuck up the movie? Like, was that scene good? I don't know. You know, that big confrontation. And, but you try to keep it together and not be, you know, like crying on the floor and make Alan come for you. But he was like, dude, I'm telling you, you nailed it. It was great. And I was like, okay, we'll have to see. And I didn't see until 12 months later. And the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. And
you
then
don't recognize the take anyway, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. You just do it. Yeah, you're just in the moment, just trying to do it. But yeah, the more I watched it, I was like, oh no, it's fine. It's good. Because then they add the music in and all that stuff. But the first time you watch it, you're just like, oh God, I ruined the movie.
Did you see it before the premiere?
They sent me an early screening. Yeah. Only like a week or two before the premiere. But like, yeah, just an early Netflix send you like a link that you can watch it on. And yeah, to get to see it before it all came out.
Man, that's crazy. I really, I know you mentioned like Alan on Instagram, like you mentioned, you know, you've done a write-up about basically what it was like to work with him. So I'm not going to sort of like make
No, please.
That's but
I'll happily talk about that guy. The guy's the best.
I know you've talked about it already, but I guess like what was it like working with Alan? You are a fan of him as well, but as an actor and like professionally.
Yeah, man. It was wild. Like it was so different for me because like I had all this nostalgic connection to Alan as an actor because, you know, I watched a show with him growing up when I was in high school. It was like I loved the show. I loved the character. And then getting to work with him. And in my mind, you know, I was like, okay, like his character and my character have a lot to do in this film. Like we, you know, for story-wise, don't get along, all this stuff. So I was like, what's it going to be like? Are we going to sing Kumbaya? Are we going to be best friends? Are we going to hit the gym together? Like, is he going to be reclusive? Is he going to do his own thing? But he was just awesome, man. I think the thing is with Alan is it's like he's in a place in his career, well earned over the last 20 something years, where he's kind of at the top of the mountain a little bit. Like he's so busy, it's nuts. Like when we would speak, like he was booked out for like the next 3 years of projects. And he's also a father and he, you know, his wife and 3 sons travel with him. So like, and this movie's super physically demanding. Like he's the lead. He's there every day. He's there early. He wraps late. And then he has to go home and be a father to his kids. So I was just very conscious to not try and take energy from him that, you know, didn't need to be taken. Sitting there being like, Alan, what was it like when you worked with Henry Cavill on Ministry of Gentlemanly Warfare? But he was gracious. Like I just wouldn't force conversation. But then there was so much stuff, downtime in between, and he wouldn't pull himself away. He would have lunch with us and stuff. And yeah, we would just chat. And eventually I got to talk to him about, you know, projects he'd done and got to get a peek behind the curtain as to like how they made that. And it was just the best, man. It was awesome. But I think the thing that I took the most from him was that he is just a good human, very gracious leader, a good dad. And that was something we spoke about a lot because I have a kid on the way and
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I didn't have the time, but I knew I wanted kids. And I imagined, I was like, man, it would be, no one thinks about it. Everyone thinks like, oh, Alan Ritchson, you know, he's like a big movie star. Yeah, but that also means like, how do you balance being a good dad and a good husband? And you're not living a normal life. You know, you're constantly on the road and you're like doing these things. Oh, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Yeah, but being a good dad is also a serious thing, you know, to certain people. So I would really talk to him about that. Him and his wife, Kat, is amazing. They've been together since they were like 21, I think. So I would just talk to him about like, how do you guys balance this? How do you do this? Like with the kids, like what about school? And they would just talk me through a lot of stuff. And it gave me hope. I was like, okay, well, you can have a big career and do what you love to do and still be a good dad and be a good husband. You just got to have a fucking rock solid lady and you got to have wicked communication. You just got to keep talking it out. So that was the thing that I took the most from him. I was like, man, just be a good dude, work hard, and you can be a good dad and a good partner.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's probably like the most, as cool as the stories would have been about movies and stuff, and that stuff would have been exciting.
Yeah.
You know, getting advice like that, considering the career that you're interested in pursuing,
Yeah.
is like, I mean, like priceless, right?
Totally, man. Yeah, totally. Just that sort of blueprint, and you know, they would share things. They were very forthcoming. They were like, you know, we've made mistakes in this area and this area. You know, like just be aware of this. And I was like, man, this is good. And my fiance was there with me, so yeah, we were just absorbing it. So.
What was it like for her watching you acting? Like, is it weird for her? Like, I mean, you're doing a different accent, which is part of it, but you're also playing a different character.
Yeah.
Like, what was her kind of like reaction to it?
She doesn't like when I say this, but because she cares deeply about me and my career in the sense that she just wants me to be happy, but she couldn't give a fuck. You know, like I tell this story when COVID hit. I'd moved to Sydney at the end of 2019. COVID hit, you know, end of 2019. And I'd sold all my stuff to go to Sydney. I had no money at the time. I'd done, you know, nothing in acting. And I lost my job because of COVID. Acting went away. I had to move back to Perth. I'd sold everything, so I had nothing. And she was house sitting in Midland for her uncle. And most of my clothes were in Sydney. So I had like a Kmart clothes rack and like 2 singlets, a pair of shorts, thongs, no car, no money. I was 23 or 24 at the time. And I was just like, what the fuck happened to my life? Like, I've got nothing. And she looked at me the same then she did when I was on set, like on War Machine. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's no different. She was just like, you're the best. You're awesome. So I was like, this chick's, you know, like that's what I'm very grateful for. Like she doesn't see me any different. Like she just, you know, she kind of just sees me. She's like, oh dude, you're awesome no matter if you got no money and you're on the dole and you're a loser or if you're on like a big Hollywood blockbuster. So she wasn't like in awe. She wasn't like, oh my God, that's Alan Ritchson. She was just like, I'm just happy you're happy, honey. And I was like, thank you. I am.
PedTest Australia is a WA-based company providing at-home testing kits for a range of black market substances, underground or counterfeit drugs that can often contain a different substance than what they claim, or nothing at all. In 2024, 5% of oil-based steroids contained no active ingredient. Oral steroids were even worse, 12% contained no active ingredient. PedTest Australia kits provide a quick and cost-effective method of screening products before they are used. Kit results help users make informed decisions about substances they choose to take and therefore reduce the risks they are exposed to. Don't take chances with your health and gains. Test it before you take it. Go to pedtestaustralia.com to order your test kits. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Studio 187 Tattoo. They're located on Guildford Road in Maylands, and I'm a clean skin, but if I wasn't, I would definitely be going to see these guys. They even offer private rooms to get tattooed in if you're not a fan of the open studio structure. You can find them on Instagram at Studio 187 Tattoo. Bulk Gym Chalk Australia are your go-to suppliers for gym chalk. Whether you are doing powerlifting, weightlifting, strongman, gymnastics, or running a competition event and need bulk supplies and prizes, they've got you covered. Options include block chalk, bowl chalk, liquid chalk, or invisible liquid chalk for those gyms where you aren't allowed other options. They even have a range of athlete recovery bath salts to soak those training aches away. Check out the range at www.bulkgymchalk.com.au. I guess this is like an awkward question, but I hope you don't mind me asking. Only because I think about how would I navigate this. And there's an actor that's really famous for the fact that he refuses to.
Oh yeah, kissing other people and stuff.
Yeah. What do you think she would be okay with it if you get a role that's required? Or
I've done a role I mean, it's coming out, but I've done it.
You can't mention it though?
I can't mention it. No.
Tell me after?
Yeah, I can tell you after. But I did it. I did it. I've done it with guys as well. I did a show called, you didn't find that in your research. I did a show that was for ABC called Summer Love. Look that up. Where I played.
That came up. I should have looked into it.
Right. I was a gay guy, a gay character who gets invited into this older gay couple's relationship sort of as the third to spice it up. And it's like a comedy drama thing. It's just one episode I did, but it was basically that, you know, they're bored and they think the other one wants this, but neither of them wants this, and then hilarity ensues. And I'm kind of like this hippy dippy, you know, third that comes in and is like, boys, what are we doing? You know, and I had to make out with both of the guys, and she was just like, she doesn't care. She's like, oh, it's acting, and she was just like, how are you feeling? I'm like, one guy is so good at kissing and the other dude is not that great, and I won't mention who, but like, yeah, when we did it, I was like, listen, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I'm a heterosexual guy. I had no choice in the matter. But
zero chub?
0, but I could go, that's a good kiss. He's he's very, very tender.
Objectively.
I feel like he cares about me. That's what I feel. I'm like, this is great. This is great acting.
You feel like it's summer love.
Yeah, it's summer love. Come on, I see what you did there. And then I kissed the second guy and I was like, brother, you should, I know I just started kissing guys, but you're doing it wrong.
You
know what I mean?
I'm not an expert on guys kissing.
I
But
only just started. But this, what me and this guy are doing, way better. So that was the first thing I did. And then I recently did a show where I, was in a relationship with a woman this time. And she's just, she's whatever. She's just like, it's acting. I think she's seen a lot of, in a relationship, they see you at your worst, right? So there's this thing where, she's seen me crying on the shower floor, flaccid in the fetal position, being like, I'm just not good enough. She's seen that. And then she's also, you know what I mean? So she's like,
I love that you specified flaccid because it'd be super weird if you had a razor.
Well, I just meant, I was like, well, the image of my flaccid penis is so unflattering.
But if you were hard, she'd be like, I'm confused.
Yeah,
do you need my help or are you super confident right now?
Yeah, you're right where you need to be.
Yeah.
I guess just like, she's like, you're not leaving anywhere. What are you doing, dude? Like, go ahead, kiss your boys and your girls and your little acting, Well,
the guys was a good way to break the ice because you didn't particularly want to.
Totally.
It's not like it's Margot Robbie or something,
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, this new show that you can't talk about, was that just kissing or did you have a sex scene?
No sex scene. Implied. No, it was just mainly kissing. Women was pretty much all kissing. But, I think it was more the idea that, I was for 3.5 months in a relationship and you had to build the relationship. You had to kind of on camera have chemistry and, meet each other and then, charm each other, court each other, be together, all this stuff. And, where the relationship goes, I can't speak about, but yeah, it gets spicy. So I think it's more that it's like, oh, you had to be in close proximity for 3 months and, bond and whatever. But
you know stuff about her, like her Arnie's cat, because you guys have
Arnie's cat.
You've had all these weird conversations, or do you just mean only on screen? Because I feel like you'd have to talk a lot off screen.
Yeah, you talk off screen, right? Yeah. And it's like, look, without speaking out of turn, we didn't get that close. It was very much, she was there to do a job, I was there to do a job, and we got along fine, but we weren't like, some people you click with on a level, you're like, oh, dude, we're going to be best friends. Like, we're going to hang out after this. We were very different people, but we were both professionals, so we did the job, and, like, if I saw her, I'd give her a hug, but we weren't like bonding. Of being like, oh, this chick is so cool. Honey, she wants to come to dinner. She'd be like, she's not coming to dinner. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, trying like a reverse summer love thing. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess so, yeah. No, it's interesting to hear that side of it. Like, it's a bit of a weird question, but like to me, it's a consideration for a lot of people, I guess.
100%.
It's common in roles, right? Like,
yeah.
You could think of it from that perspective. There's 1 in 2 or 3 roles is probably you're gonna be in a relationship or have to pretend to be.
Yeah.
Just because that's just how characters are written.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you'll. So for me, like, I think about something. Have you seen The Rover? The Australian film?
Yeah, dude, great film. Guy Pearce and Rob Pattinson.
Yeah.
He has a colourful Australian accent, but I like it.
He did something
real different with it.
He's autistic in it, I think. And so I think maybe he kind of leans on that.
That's a great movie, dude.
Great movie.
Yeah.
But that's another one where like there's none of that, right? But not every role is like that. So like I think like some people would get into acting and this would apply for anything, not even just being in a relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of people would get into acting where they're like, oh, I want to do this. And as you said, like it's just not like that.
Yeah.
You're going to just do stuff that you get given.
Yes.
You weren't like, I want to do Summer Love.
Yeah.
Like that's probably not what was on the top of your list.
Right.
Do you have a top of your list? Like as an actor, are you like, I want to do a movie like this?
For me, man, and this does sound pretentious, but like I just want to have a career. So I'm confident enough that it doesn't really matter about the genre. I know what I'm good at and I can inject that into, if there's a character or a story that needs what I'm good at, I'm confident I can do it. No matter the genre, no matter the director, I'll figure it out. And for me, that's like, at this point, that's 3 things. It's like, I can always bring like an element, like a sense of humor, like a comedic chops, whatever you want to do, comedic timing, if that's needed, that kind of lightness to the character. Physicality, I love physical actors in the sense that their body is part of their storytelling. Like Christian Bale's obviously the big example of this, that he uses his body for character. He's either fucking jacked or he's like the machinist losing all this weight, but he manipulates his body for roles. And 3, like a sense of danger. Like, I can also do this thing where it's like, oh, is he good? Is he bad? You know what I mean? Like there's like a sense of, oh, that guy could be bad. So there's like danger, physicality and humor. So it just depends on, those are the three things I always try and look for in any role that I go for, and see where it's appropriate. And I can turn, each dial up as needed for a certain character. So it all just depends. Like the one I did today with this outfit, dude, I was like, give me the role. Like, I'll smash this. This is fun. It was like it kind of ticked all three of those things, but he was a douchey finance bro that you kind of, has a redemptive side, if you will. So I just know when I see the role.
I know what you mean, but there's still got to be something in terms of like a movie that you like, where you're like,
I see what you're saying.
In terms of like an apocalyptic movie, or you would want to be like a superhero. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to be a superhero these days. I feel like it's so played out.
Sure.
But I mean, maybe you could be like a character on like The Boys or something. Be like
okay, so crazy story about The Boys. Straight out of drama school, The Boys is casting for season 1. I look a bit like a fish. People have always told me I've got big bulgy eyes. Yeah, you see it. They're like, dude, there's this guy, which is played by Chase Crawford, called The Deep, who's like they're like superheroes, but they're bad, and it's like gritty and violent. And he's like a fish guy. His whole thing is he's a fish guy. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. And I, not knowing at the time, I just signed with my agent, and I was like, hey, I've heard of this show. Can you get me an audition? And he was like, that's not really how it works, kid. Lo and behold, he gets me the audition. I auditioned for The Deep, and then I get another tape where they're like, no, that's not for you. But we have another character called Translucent. He's only in season 1. He's like he's invisible.
You sort of fucking look like him too.
Yeah, right? So he goes, it's translucent. He goes, there is going to be full frontal nudity, just so you know. And I was like, whatever, it's fine. Who cares? I'll get a stunt dick. It's fine. And so yeah, he's like the guy that they shove the bomb up his ass and they blow him up, right? Because he's got diamond skin. So I just put this audition down. Dude, I get like a callback. And it doesn't end up going my way. They said they have to go older. And if you look at the guy who got the role, it says old me. It's just like an older version of me. Anyways, but that casting director, Robert Ulrich, took the time to reach out afterwards and be like, just let him know that I really liked his take. And that was like one of the first things I did. So I came close to The Boys. And then I was like, who cares? I was, fuck, it's probably going to be shit anyway. And then I watched it. I was like, it's one of the greatest shows that's ever been made. Oh my God, it would have changed my life.
Luckily he didn't do The Deep though, because his character is fucking dreadful. Like, like in terms of like.
Yeah, he's not endearing.
It's just not a cool character. He's the guy for me anyway.
But that's fun.
It would be fun, but you know what I'm saying in the sense
Totally.
that like if you got that or like Homelander, you're gonna like choose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the problem with that show is they're all sort of ridiculous. So
absolutely,
I wouldn't say it's a problem, but I mean like it's what it doesn't. As you said, it would just be fun probably no matter who.
Yeah.
But The Deep to me is just like I don't know, maybe like the fucking. It's sex with the octopus and stuff.
It's so funny.
It'd be so
I would
weird.
love that shit. I would have lapped that up. Not that octopus sex, but just the fact that you get to be. I mean, come on.
That might be the thing
Have you tried
that
it?
breaks the straw for the missus, where she's like,
you know what? The octopus sex, it's too much.
Bestiality, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like, it was a puppet.
But dude, we just watched the new 2 episodes drop last night of season 5.
Oh,
of The
right.
Voice.
I have not seen it yet.
It's out. But it's weird because he was just here. Which you would have known about, I'm sure. Anyway.
Carl Urban?
Anthony Starr.
Oh, yeah, he's a New Zealander.
They're just filming a new Netflix thing called Breakers.
Breakers. Yeah.
Because I live in Warnborough, and they did it on like Mandurah Road, which I drove to work on every day.
Nice.
So everyone in Warnborough for a day was like, who's here?
Yeah.
People didn't even know who he was, and they were like, someone famous
is nearby. Yeah.
But that's actually really awesome, because I was going to ask, you mentioned before about roles you went for. Is there any others? Have you done any other big?
The Boy, well, that was one. I mean, that was never mine. It never got down to like contract talks or anything. That was one that was like, that would have been sick. Man, there's been heaps. There's been heaps that I've gone for over the years. And then like years later I saw and I was like, that guy got it. Like I had never had a fucking prayer.
Yeah, but that's why I guess I'm interested in, like, even if you never got a callback, it's like.
Yeah, stuff you audition for that comes through. Euphoria, I auditioned for Jacob Elordi's role in Euphoria like so long ago.
4 of 7 inches too short.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
He's a giant, that guy.
Right, totally. So, I mean, there's been things over the years, but now I'm at a point where it's like, it's, a lot of the stuff, it's gotten a lot more linear. Like they're like, I mean, I still get my range tested quite a bit. There's a show I just went for, I don't know if I can say, it doesn't matter. I haven't heard back. I don't think I've got it, but it was basically season 2 of this show on Amazon Prime and A24, which I love. It was a comedy drama. It's an original, dude. I loved it, and it would not have been something that I'll tell you about you after. I'll tell it to you afterwards.
Okay, cool.
It's not something that you would have picked for me, And I was, when I got it, I was like, why am I going for this? And then when I did it, I was like, man, I would love to do that. So you do get surprised sometimes. Like if your team knows you and they believe, like, I think you can do this. I had a casting director in LA tell me once, it's not up to you to say no. Let us do that. You know, don't refuse auditions and things. Like just show us what you'd do if you got it, you know? Like don't say no to yourself. Let us do that. And I think that's a lesson for life, right? It's like so many people, I think, especially, you know, I will say in Australian culture with tall poppy syndrome, they keep their head down and their shoulders rolled. They're like, I don't want to put my hand up. But it's like, sometimes it's the people that just put their hand up that get a shot and they might not even be that good, but they're just putting their fucking hand up. And then people go like, oh, that guy got it? And it's like, yeah, he was the one putting his hand up, you know, like you just got to back yourself. And there's a point of diminishing returns where it's like, you know, you can be a bit completely delusional. But yeah, I think, what was the original question? I've just rambled on now.
Oh no, it was just like, it was just talking about other roles that you've gone for.
Oh, yeah. There's been a bunch. There's been a bunch of these, but nothing that was like, oh, that would have. The Boys was probably the biggest one that I can remember early on.
That's the crazy. Anyway, that's a hilarious story, and it's just funny that you really look like him, and that's weird. So the guy from The Wiggles, you, and Translucent.
And there's one more, Lincoln Eunice, who Last King of the Cross. He's the lead of Last King of the Cross. He was a river boy on Home and Away back in the day. Austin, I won't ask you to get him up because you'll get up 14 pictures that are not the one I'm referring to. I'm joking.
A photo of David Duchovny.
Yeah. No, Lincoln Eunice and I, we were at an event in Sydney like the other week and we got a photo together because we look super similar. I think he's half Lebanese though, so I don't know what I am. Like I'm actually half Maori, like my mum's. That makes sense. My mum's Maori, and my dad's just like a white Aussie. But somehow I also look like a half Filipino guy and a half Lebanese guy. So I don't really know.
And a fish.
And a fish. Yeah, exactly.
It's weird because the guy that they Chase Crawford doesn't look like a fish.
No, he just kind of they just went with. I mean, Chase has got
incredibly attractive.
Yeah, incredibly attractive. Had done Gossip Girl for fucking 10 seasons.
Dude, when he gets his like rig off in it, you're just like, bro, like, are you doing a bodybuilding show in like a month? Like,
I know.
Like he just incredible shape. I mean, you're in good shape too, so it wouldn't be a problem. But I just mean with him, it's like, you know, when you're like, you're leaner than you need to be. I feel like it's almost like he went, dude, I'm gonna have my shirt off. I'm getting fucking peeled.
Yeah, well, my beautiful fiance, she's a nutritionist. So, I mean, like, I hate to, it's the business, right? It's like, depending on what your strengths are, you know, I always look for things that can separate me from the other actors. And sometimes the physicality is a part of it. And the American market look to Australia for masculine men.
Yeah, that makes sense when you think about everyone that's done well here, I guess. Like, there's pretty much no one that's
no one that's not in shape.
Not really. Do you have like a favorite Australian film? Like that made you, like, that's part of what made you think like, oh, I can be an actor?
Red Hill was probably my favorite Australian film, and I mean that genuinely. Even prior to me doing it, The Rover's a great Australian film too, really good. For me, it's Animal Kingdom though. David Michôd, Animal Kingdom, Ben Mendelsohn, Joel Edgerton. That to me is the peak of Australian cinema. Like it kind of never got better. Like it's unbelievable. Like it's just there's no notes. Like the writing. It's so. I think sometimes what happens with Australian film, in my opinion, is that it gets kind of Americanized. Like they try and do an American cultural thing in Australia, or it's just like at the beach, outback, white heroine story. You know, like it's like there's so much more to Australian culture. And granted that was, you know, like an Aussie crime thing. It was so Australian. It was so specifically Australian and unsettling and specific. And I think Mr. In Between, which is Nash Edgerton, is again like another it's the top of the mountain. Like it doesn't apologize. It's so, I imagine to Americans, like when we watch Yellowstone, we're like, is that what it's really like there? That's what they're probably doing with Mr. In Between. Like, Jesus, you know, they just keeps calling him the C word over and over again. And like, you know, it's just beautiful. And I think it showcases, just some unique aspects of Australian culture. That Mr. In Between, I think, is the top of the mountain for me in terms of acting stuff out of Australia.
I agree. I think I said this to, the show they did here, Run.
Yes, my friend Keenan Lonsdale was in it. He was in War Machine. He's the detective with the mustache.
Yes, that's right. I recognized him, and I was like, I didn't realize how like famous he was. He does really well. And he was great in that. Mm-hmm. But we were talking about that because Ben Young directed a bit of that, and then he did like Hounds of Love earlier and stuff like that. And one thing I mentioned to him, as I said, the way that he captures like this eeriness and realness in Australian film is like not something that everyone can do, but I also think they can't actually even do it in America. Sometimes Australian films almost make me a bit uncomfortable in this weird way where
Yeah.
it's so like, I don't even know, like the color palette and everything feels really like, to me, I saw it in Animal Kingdom, Mr. In Between,
Yeah.
Hounds of Love, Run. Like there's something about the way these films are made
I agree.
where I'm just like, I feel like I can feel this in my skin and I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah.
And Mr. In Between is probably the best example. It just doesn't feel like people are acting.
No, they're not. And
No.
it's like the bullshit meter is just like you cannot, it's not moving. You can't detect anything. It seems, you know, and it's great writing. It's behavioral. It's an actor's dream, man. Like for me, when I read a script and it's like, if the character gets to show who they are through behavior, that's what I'm like, oh yeah. Like, you know, the more exposition, the harder it is to make that natural, you know, and they're constantly, you know, talking about the people don't do that a lot of the time, you know. So if it's behavioral, you just look like a genius. You know, like if your character doesn't talk much and they just have cool behavior that reveals who they are, oh my God, like you just look like, that's where people win all these awards and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like obviously you have to do the performance and be great, but sometimes you see these performances that are getting nominated and you go, yeah, but that, of course.
Yeah.
Like it's such, like that's the role.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, yes, it's them, but it's also like I'm much more impressed by acting like in Mr. In Between, where it's like that is so specific and nuanced and subtle. Like, where's the acting? There's no like, I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the goats, but you know, he's like, I drink your milkshake. Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's such a performance. But I'm a nerd for invisible acting. Where you're like, I don't even know if that was that real? Was that scripted? That can't have been written.
Yeah.
Like the weird moment that he did.
It's not here. Hey.
Say again?
A lot of the stuff here doesn't seem like it is because it's especially the way it's written. Like someone will say something in an Australian film and it's so sometimes, I don't know if I'm not laid back and bogan is not the right word, but sometimes it'll be like so just a thing a normal person would say that you're like, did someone write that on a page?
Yeah.
Or were they almost given like just a bit of direction and they said it how they'd say it?
Right.
Because it's
you
like
never know, yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound like someone would. It's the same the other way around. Someone will say something in a film and you're like, people don't talk like that.
Exactly.
It's the other way around.
Yes.
Someone will say something and you're like, did they write that on a page?
Well, that's my thing too. Whereas it's like, you know, it's an old saying in acting. It's like the lines don't matter. It's, you know, it's in between the lines. It's the subtext. What are they really talking about and stuff. So it's like, yeah, a lot of the time, depending on unless you're doing Shakespeare, like you should change the lines so it sounds like a human's talking. Like, you know, I remember an acting teacher, Les Chantry, who I really like, he said, your job is to have a conversation on camera. That is it. The end. Don't overcomplicate it. If you look back at your work and it doesn't look like a person having a conversation, something's wrong. Go and fix it. Rather than you get so in the weeds about like, but what's my motivation and what's the backstory and like what should I wear and then it's like you forget, like you said, when you see, you're like, that doesn't look like people talking. That looks like weird. And you go, yeah, exactly. So the job's not done. You know, acting is very simple. It's just not easy. You know,
fuck, that's the best way I've ever heard it put.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's just not easy, and it's like you gotta, because it's acting to camera and then understanding the edit and understanding what your human perspective as this character is, but also what is their function within the story and that problem solving, man. That's what I get so G'd up on. Like I'm amped right now talking about this stuff. Like I love it, you know. And then getting to do it at the highest level was always my dream on a big film with a big budget. And, you know, I got to do it with War Machine. I'm excited to do it more with like indie films and with like a comedy because it's a different problem, right? It's a different thing to be solved. And you just mentioned that Australians are so good at being unsettling in this kind of like, and I think what it is psychologically is that what's happening is fucked up, but they're talking as if everything's normal. And they're like, it's all right, mate. Don't worry about it. You know, and they're like, but that's what you just did was fucked. And he's like, nah, we're good. That's all right, mate. Don't worry about that. You know, and then it's just like, ugh, this is fucked. Yeah. But on the flip side of it, it can hold an Australian actor back in booking US work because we're so good at being chill that we don't know how to have stakes. We don't know how to make a big deal out of something because everything, like you don't make a big deal here. Everyone's like, brother, relax. Like if you cry too hard at a funeral, like Jesus Christ, you know, like, we're like, oh, you didn't like him that much. You know, we hate people making a big deal of stuff. And sometimes in shows and in drama, especially for the American market, they want you to, they don't want you to be human, but they want you to make a fucking big deal of something.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Like I know what
culturally.
You're saying. Yeah. I suppose that's where when people who have breached that's the crazy part. Ben Mendelsohn
Yeah.
or something like that. Like we watched Ready Player One the other night. The kids hadn't seen it or
Oh,
whatever.
amazing.
Cool movie. But like I'm watching it. I'm like halfway through the movie and I'm like, this fucking dude's Australian. Like I just forget that he's Australian because he's just like
one of the goats.
Well, same as
so good, man.
Hugh Jackman. You kind of always know is Australian, but there's still this thing where he's just past that point. They've all done that thing where they've passed that point a little bit, and sometimes now even Jacob Elordi, man. I mean, like, I don't know. I just wouldn't have if I just wasn't able to find that out. I just would never have thought anything other. And I wouldn't even say he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
But like I watched Frankenstein and I'm like, I just not in my head thinking like this is an Australian person.
Sure.
Where there is a base level of Australian films where that does still happen. You can, sometimes you'll see an actor and they've done the thing you've said. They can't escape that Australianness about them yet. They're not able to elevate to a different level.
Yes.
But there's also then people have, we watched like Nitram like last year.
Oh, dude.
It's like the opposite. He's American.
Dude. And the accent's perfect.
How?
It's perfect.
How?
Is he He's American. He's from Texas. Dude, he has an Australian. It's perfect.
Crazy.
And it's so a story with Nitram is I was shooting a show called Mystery Road in Kalgoorlie.
Oh, that's with Mark Hall Smith?
With Mark Hall Smith. Yeah. We shot that and I was playing the villain in that. And we had this local cinema across the road from where we were staying. I think like the Ridges in Kalgoorlie or something. And I just saw that this movie, Nitram, I had no idea what it was about. It was advertised. I heard it was an Australian film. And I went and watched it. And I just sat there and I had no idea what it was about. And I just started watching. And then like halfway through, I'm like, is this about Martin Bryant? And then I was like, that guy's accent, is he? I don't recognize him. Who is that? And I'm Googling and I'm like, he's American doing a perfect Australian accent. This guy's a beast. So yeah, that mentioning Australian cinema, that's powerful. I mean, it's obviously a very intense, Justin Kurzel is incredible. It's obviously a very intense subject matter, but that performance from that lead actor, I can't remember his name.
It's like Caleb Lowdry Jones or something.
Lowdry Jones, yeah, sure.
I think I get the middle name wrong, but yeah, I mean, like he was in like Get Out.
He was in Get Out. He was also in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
That's a crazy movie. I love Sam Rockwell.
Me too.
That movie's insane.
Me too. Yeah. Hey, listen. You got great taste.
Man, I got
great taste.
I got great taste.
That's me patting myself on the back because I like everything you're saying. But,
we just watched like Gore Verbinski's new Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Oh, Sam! I mean, I haven't seen it, right. But yeah,
you'll love it, man. If you like Sam Rockwell, it's Sam Rockwell being super Sam Rockwell-y.
Yeah,
he was just
and
like
Gore Verbinski did Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yes, but he did Pirates. I think he did 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if he did the other ones.
The good ones.
Yes, the good ones. He randomly did that movie Rango with Johnny Depp.
Great! Dude, I love Rango.
I haven't seen it. I need to watch it.
It's really good, dude. Okay. It's so good.
I'm going to check it out. The movie he did that I remember is with Dane DeHaan and Mia Goth called No Cure for Wellness.
Oh, I never saw it.
Really eerie, Shutter Island-y kind of like movie.
Mia Goth's amazing.
Yeah, the whole movie's like super creepy, man. You'll watch it and it's one of those movies where you're like, I don't want to watch that again.
Sure, but I'm glad I did.
I'm glad I watched it. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's good. We've got to do a bit of a round because
good, man.
There's some stuff that we didn't mention that I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna go and watch Granny Flat.
Yeah,
did you do 2 episodes of that or 1?
No. I just did 1 sketch with the boys, Dave Hoey and Nick Burton. They're just boys out of Sydney. Actors, filmmakers, they just did their own stuff and they're incredible, man. They're awesome. So I befriended them when I was in Sydney on this job recently and then he said, mate, come on board. Like, we'd love to do a sketch with him. We did a really fun, just 1 sketch together. But whenever I got over in Sydney, I was like, boys, whatever the role, whatever the sketch, I'm in.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
I've got to watch it, but I found it on YouTube and that's the thing. Accessibility has never been higher.
Yeah.
But it's also like done the opposite thing. It's weird.
Saturated.
Everything's accessible and then saturation went up and now you're like almost back where you were before.
Yeah.
Where everything's super accessible, but it's kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
So I came across that and I found the YouTube channel and I'm like, they've got heaps on here. Have I not heard of this?
Yeah.
Which blew my mind. So I've got to watch that. And then I want to watch the Alien No Man's Land as well because I just find that really interesting.
25-minute short, Australian made. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that. But the other thing I want to touch on just briefly is obviously your, I don't know what they call it, announcer for Eternal?
Yep.
Yeah.
MC announcer,
Yeah. So I saw you doing some of the interviews and stuff for that. And they had an event down in Mandurah. I don't know if you know any of the guys that held it down there. Jack and Nat were there. Mandurah Combat Sports Academy.
Yes, yep.
And I did the post.
I fought one of their guys, yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, yeah. Maka, the coach there, is a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I trained there for about 18 months.
Oh,
Macca's
cool.
great. And then I kind of worked with Macca a bit. So I did some content stuff for him, but then I also did all the post fights for the first 2 events they've done. So
Okay.
Combat Series 1 and then 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll do it this year, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So seeing that you did that was kind of cool because I'm never in the ring. I'm just
Yeah.
doing it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I have the same kind of, I heard you talking on another podcast about it. I have the same sort of problem where I can't stick to one thing. And I try to do kind of multiple different things. And so once I realized you did that,
Yeah.
as well as doing stand-up comedy, and now you want to be an actor,
Yeah.
I was like, that's a guy I can relate to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like you just kind of know. It's like I kind of wanted to ask about that more than the Eternal stuff. Like, is there like this kind of weird hunger there for variety? I feel like I have that.
No, for me, what's weird is that I just want to act.
Really? Oh, so it's changed now, you think?
No, it's always been that.
Actually, no, you did kind of break this down, right?
It's always been that. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor. That's just what I wanted to do. Like, and I didn't even, it was just like it is that calling thing, man. Like, I didn't even know why. I just always knew, and this does sound arrogant, but I just always knew this would happen. I did. I just had it in it makes no sense. Like, my parents had me when they were 18 and 19. I'm working class, like chubby, weird kid from Perth, but I was like, I'm going to be an actor. Like, it was in my mind's eye. And it hasn't happened how I thought it would, but everything that I've done in the meantime has just been while acting hasn't happened, but I've been trying. I've been auditioning nonstop for years and trying to get my career started. And then in the meantime, just to stop going fucking crazy because you're just in this vacuum where you're going nowhere until you get a job. I was like, well, I might as well, I like MMA, so I guess I'll have a fight. And then I'd do that side quest, and then I, fought once and I won, but I was like, thank God that's over because that's not what you should do. And then, stand-up comedy was another thing there, which I love to do and I love to perform, but acting's the thing, man. It's just where I'm at. It's my favorite thing. It's so fun. Like the worst day on set is still like the best day ever for me. So yeah, it's kind of like just in the meantime, I do other things to sort of exercise that side of myself, but acting's all I want to do.
I hope I reach that point then, because maybe that's part of what's. I think I go through stages, or I've gone through stages where I'm kind of realizing like how things I started doing. I was a bit like, because the post fight stuff was cool, but I definitely I wouldn't want to be doing it in 10 years. Yeah. And I think I always wanted to make movies when I was younger, but you just get older and you just talk yourself out of it.
Sure,
I'll never be able to fucking do that. But then at the same time, I saw it like just a random, literally 10-second clip with Simon Pegg once, and he was like, "It's literally never been easier. You've got a fucking camera in your pocket. Just make something."
I also fucking hate that narrative too. Everyone's like, "Just make something." I'm like, you know how fucking hard it is to make, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get what they're saying. They're trying to inspire you to do stuff and to not just sit on your ass. That's 100% I back that. But this whole like, you want to be an actor, just make a film. You're like, that's like saying, it's just like it's like a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And not everyone has that skill set or that want. But yeah, sitting on your ass is not the answer. I feel you, man. I mean, it's good to try stuff, even in like what you're doing now is, I truly mean this, you're doing the thing, right? Because like, and I wish someone had told me this a few years ago, if you had said to me, what do you think is the most ideal situation for you to be in, as in where I'm at in my career? I would say it would be good to be in a memorable breakout role in the #1 movie in the world. I've done it. And things have not changed yet. Like, I feel the same.
But they're changing, right?
They're changing, but internally I'm the same. Doing the thing was the whole, like, that was the experience. Like, making those friends, doing that, and then getting to share, people get to watch, like, what I love to do, and family and friends. That's meaningful. But in terms of like, people think like, you must be fucking, things are happening now. And I'm like, nope, no offers. I'm still auditioning. I'm hearing nothing back. I'm going to LA on Tuesday to take meetings. People are like, what's that for? I'm like, I'm just taking meetings just to be like, you're a star kid, and then never hear from them again. Who knows? Like, it's still, and like, that was the most, I was like, surely if that happens, everything would change. It's still the same. I have no idea if where my next job's coming. I'm having a kid, I have no trades, no qualifications, no degree. It's like, I've burned the boat. It's like, this is it, or it's, cafe work or whatever. I'll figure it out.
What do you do for a living?
I work for my friend's company in like customer service, like online from my laptop, which is amazing because I get to travel and like work remotely. But I guess the point is it's like the hardest thing about acting is the fact that there's just complete uncertainty and you can't put a clock to anything. Whereas in a salary job, you can. There's still uncertainty, redundancy, illness, life in general. But I think for people who are pursuing acting, like this idea that if they just get to this point, they'll be okay. It never arrives. Like and I'm telling you, it doesn't arrive. Like it will be different. Like if I get a couple more jobs and, you know, like my bank account changes and, you know, I'm able to, all right, I can relax for a couple of years and not be in trouble or debt. That would be different. But for the most part, yeah, man, it's not very romantic, but like I'm still the same. Everything's the same.
But you did the thing.
But I did the thing. That's the most important part. Like, you know, if young me could have, you know, I've satisfied that childhood dream. But what you're doing, creating your own thing, fucking getting out there and just, you know, putting a little bit of yourself out there, that's the whole thing, bro. Like that's the whole thing. And, you know, I've been on the other side of it where, like someone gives you a job and everyone sees it and it's awesome. And that's special too. But what you're doing is equally, if anything, if not more, it's more sustaining and it's yours, right? People can take mine away.
I mean, technically it's Austin's. But like,
yeah. Shout out.
I mean, I just kind of rock up. But I used to film them myself and went through the whole like shitty thing to begin with. Like this is like episode like fucking 173 or something.
Dude, that's amazing, dude. I did 50 episodes of my own podcast and that made it further than most. And it's serious.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And I appreciate that. I guess it's just kind of like, yeah, you got to work out like, is this the thing? Because to me, like I could make like a shitty short film and as long as I did it, I guess I could at least like die going like, but I tried to make a film.
Yeah.
But I do know what you're saying. It is people go like, oh, just go to the thing. And it's like, bro, like to even learn about cameras to a point where I could make it look the way I really want it to look would take me like 40 years.
Yes.
And then I'm old.
But look, you can do stuff for yourself, but yeah, it's like the level that you want to build to is a while away. But you can do stuff for yourself. You really can. And you can, and I think that, you know, just creating and making things that you enjoy. That's what I was talking about at the beginning about self-tapes. Fuck what they want. They don't know what they want. You don't know what they want. You're guessing. Do something you like. You know, I think that that's the whole thing. It's like, what do the people want to hear? It's like, people don't want to hear anything. They don't know, people don't know what they want. They go to a restaurant, they're like this, whatever. You just gotta put it out there. And I think that, I growing up in Perth, you know, it's a big, small town. I love Perth, but you know, there was very much this otherness to like, well, over there they do that stuff, you know, and like there's this, you know, and I've fucking done it and it's still the same, you know, and you come back and life's still the same, but that's a beautiful thing. So it's like all that's really here to do is just what do I want to do right now? Who are the people I like? And then just go from there.
Yeah, man, that's a really great thought for people to leave, like listening to this and be like, oh, what a positive thing for me to like.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
I hope it's positive. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be like, fucking give up your dream. I'm just saying like, no, you're doing it, you know?
Dude, it's like one of my favorite comedians is a guy named Bo Burnham, if you know who he is.
Dude, unbelievable.
Yeah, and so like he literally says it. I can't remember like it word, but there's like a video of him talking on stage and they were like, oh, like what would you say to someone who wants to do it or something? And he was like, you'll probably never make it. He's like, but like just try because like I didn't think I would and then something happened. He goes, but even if nothing happens, like that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was just this weird thing where it made it sound super negative, but he was just being realistic in the same way you are.
Yeah.
You know, do a thing and that doesn't really guarantee anything.
Yeah.
I think actors are a bit of a weird thing these days and like creating another Daniel Day-Lewis is going to be kind of hard. I think that was a generational thing. I don't think actors will be the same moving forward.
No.
Lots of stuff's in and out.
Yeah.
You can be famous as fuck for 4 years and then all of a sudden that's it.
Yeah.
Which can be a good and a bad thing. But regardless, I really enjoyed your performance, man. And I actually think that it's one of those things where there's not enough of it yet. Like I'll go and watch the gay stuff for sure.
Please.
I will.
Please, it's nuanced.
Dude, that guy, bro, like, man, he's so good at kissing that guy. Like,
thank you.
That
was real. What you're seeing was real,
like,
real chemistry.
Because I wasn't acting.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were rolling.
yeah. You're like, hang on a second. This is part of the script.
It's a little practice.
Sorry, I thought we hadn't said action yet. Yeah. But like, I'm keen to see what you can do next. Because it's man. Like, you know, we've seen this, but now it's like, this is the exciting part kind of because it's like the start of the career where it's like, what happens now?
Yeah.
What's the next role even look like? Because it could be anything.
Yeah.
And so I want to hit you with some quick fire.
Go.
This never works. I'm always like quick fire and then people talk phrases. Go. So, stand-up comedian. Who's your favorite comedian?
Locally, John Pinder. He's a good friend of mine. Internationally, Michael McIntyre.
Michael McIntyre.
Yeah, he's so physical. He's so silly. He does voices. He's just, he's like, try not to smile watching that guy.
Yeah, kind of like Lee.
Oh, yeah, the British guy. He was in like something about Mary and Mouse Hunt. Mouse Hunt. Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember his last
Physical,
name.
silly, animated voices.
Lee Evans.
Yeah. Also, Sebastian Maniscalco, very good at that as well, but very Italian.
Yeah, Lee profusely sweating. Lee would be.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that.
Okay, so like if you could do, you obviously had like a role or a scene with Alan, right? Which was like to you was like amazing and it was super exciting.
Sure.
But if you could have a scene with anyone,
Yeah.
like you could work with an actor and bounce off them.
Oh, God.
I know it's hard.
Male Tom Hardy would be a type, because Tom just does his thing. He's always fucking getting close to you. He's just like a bulldozer, you know? You're like, all right, Tom, I'm in the scene too.
He'd be a good kisser.
Yeah, kissing Tom. Those lips, dude. Dude, Google Tom. Austin, I'm joking. Get up Tom Hardy
He
lips.
gets that up immediately. It's like already on the homepage.
That was a little too quick. Tom Hardy would be amazing to be in a scene with, I feel. Just for me, female Olivia Colman. Dude. Olivia Colman.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
She is.
What's this Tom Hardy kissing video? Hold on, let me just get this.
Yeah, get rid of that. Olivia Colman for me is just, there's nothing she can't do. Like she for me is like
yeah, she's like British, right? What do I recognize her out of? I've seen her in
everything, dude. She's like, she literally can do any genre. She can be anything.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. There you go. I mean, what a dude. And she's won an Oscar. She's like won an Oscar now, and like
crazy.
She is, you know, ephemeral in my mind. She would be like, just to be opposite her and see her craft and see how she does things would be awesome. And I think Tom would be like a fun, like kind of competitive, like, okay, you can't do what he's doing, but you've got to not get drowned in the scene by Tom Hardy getting close and being real fucking still and sexy and deep and grumbling.
He'd have that like man stink to him.
He'd stink, yeah.
But like good stink.
He'd
like,
stink,
like pheromones, you know what I mean?
Like musky. Like that's kind of nice, Tom, but kind of not.
Would you roll with him in between takes?
Roll with him. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he'd probably fuck me.
Like
he's a big boy though. I feel like he'd, you know,
he's kind of short, but
I think he's heavy though.
I don't know if he's kind of.
I mean, I'd roll with him, but my point is I would just be making excuses. Like if he tapped me, I'd be like, oh, well, you know, Tom.
Damn it!
What is this, like an absolute division? Like, meet me in the middle. We need a catch weight here. Come on.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so probably those two.
Okay. This is like introspective of like, you know, you might even say an actor again, but it's like if you could spend 24 hours with any human being, they can be alive or dead. They can even be fictional, just so not a human being, but like literally any person for 24 hours.
Oh man.
Just to be around them.
From what perspective? Do you mean like just to learn from, just for my own catharsis? For like
Pedro Pascal's like, hey man, what are we doing tomorrow? Like, what are we hanging out for 24 hours? Like you're just hanging out with him. You can do whatever you want. Could be anyone ever. I've had people pick some really fucked up shit. Someone said Hitler. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I just want to see how he thinks. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you. I can tell you.
There's books about it.
Yeah. He wrote it down. You can borrow my copy. Let me.
It could be. Some people have chose like cartoons.
No, dude, I don't know. Look, I think, and this is so, you know, cheesy, but like, I was really close with my nana growing up, who passed, my sweet, sweet nana. And it's like, it was one of those things that she died when I was like 15. And I just wasn't like, I don't know. It would feel like there was more I wanted to ask her. You know what I mean? Because she was like this, she was just so important to me. She was just like this really maternal figure in my life. And like, you know, when you're a kid, like they're just your nana. But then you get older, like I'm an adult now. And like I learned about her life. And I'm like, that sounds like hard. And like there was just so much more I wanted to ask her. I know that's like a real cheese. It's not like an exciting clickbaity, like, hey, it's not exactly Hitler. but like, it's the first thing that popped into my mind. I don't really give, look, I've meeting celebrities and like sports stars and everything, they're all like, dude, everyone's just a person. I get that. Like, it's just like, yeah. And then people do some incredible things, but I have kind of this weird arrogance now where I'm like, the only difference between me and them is that they've had opportunity and time, you know? Yeah, and like, I can appreciate people's craft, and there are things that people can do that I could never do in a billion years. And I just enjoy watching people do their thing, especially if it's very different to me. But there's not really anyone that I'm like, like.
I think sometimes like I'm too outside of the box. So really, what I'm asking is not necessarily even an actor. Where to me, I'm like,
right,
like it could be Patrick Bateman. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be. Nana's a way nicer answer. I've had some people answer wholesomely.
Sure.
And I totally
You're
get
like,
that.
sure, we'll cut that, but fine.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it because to me that would, I asked my mum a few years ago, and to me I think about that, and I'm like, to me as I get older, that will become my answer.
Yeah.
I'm still the young kid that's like, I want to hang out with, like, I want to be in the movie Last Action Hero.
Dude, rubber baby bumpers, or whatever the fuck the line is. Yeah.
Yeah, that was close enough. I
Great
think.
film.
Yeah, Arnold, right? Like some people, I've had people answer with that.
Totally.
Especially a bodybuilder, like Arnold. And I'm
course.
like, I feel like the whole day would just be you using like Google Translate to be like, sorry, can you just say that again?
Yeah, it would also be just like they shatter before your eyes because they're a good person, but you're like, oh my God, so you're just a guy who did the thing for ages and everything else was like what I imbued on you. Oh no.
But that's why you'd want to hang out with the character, not the actor.
Right, because it would never.
Hypothetical question, you could hang out with, I can hang out with Earl from My Name is Earl. I don't want to hang out with Jason Lee.
So true.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
But it's such a childhood. Like usually when there's a grown man sitting across from me and I ask this, they're like, I'm happy with myself, bro.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
I mean,
I'm
that's
like,
too far the other way where you're like, I talk to myself in 10 years. It's like the Matthew McConaughey Oscar speech, one of the worst things ever happened, where he's like, my hero was me in 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
That's myself, man. I'm never going to get there. And I'm like, come on,
Matthew McConaughey's a perfect example. Wolf of Wall Street, Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Would love to hang out with that guy.
He'd be fun.
I don't want to talk about Jesus.
And
there's nothing wrong with Jesus.
Sure.
I'm just not religious.
Sure. Does he talk about Jesus a lot?
He's heavily religious, Matthew McConaughey.
Sure. I've never seen him preach.
He talked about it in maybe one of his last acceptance speeches, or like God.
Okay, sure, the Lord.
And he's done a couple of podcasts with that Chris Williamson, and he'll bring it up, right? And it's like, I have no problem with it.
Sure.
But the Wolf of Wall Street, Matthew McConaughey's doing cocaine at 10 in the morning. I want to hang out with that guy.
Right. That dude's a fun 24-hour hang.
There's 100%. And there's a lot of people who have played actors where like the actor, or like, not played actors, played roles where like the role's amazing, and then in person they'll do an interview and they'll be like, I would hate that guy in real life. Like the actor that played that person hated the role.
Yeah.
In a sense, they enjoyed doing it, but they were like, the person I had to play was horrible.
Yeah. Man, I will say, actually, this is not who I want to hang out with, but the greatest male role, ridiculous role that I've ever seen put to screen is Brad Pitt in Legends of the Fall.
I've never seen Legends of the Fall.
Dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in the sense that, okay, I'm not making this up. There are 3 separate scenes where he rides in gloriously on a horse, right? But like, and it's like a long shot of like wild horses. His hair's he couldn't be more beautiful. And there's like a score with it, and it's like a period thing, and it's just like, that's the hottest guy that's ever lived. Yeah. And like his role goes over like 3 generations. Like he gets to be like young, and then he gets to be like old and disgruntled. It's crazy. Edward Zwick, Anthony Hopkins is in it. It's one of the last like great epics, like, like Forrest Gump. The 90s had these big epics where they were like 3-hour, huge budget, just relationship-driven human stories that were ridiculous. They were just all, but now it's like, there's going to be more explosions and there's going to be this and that, But Legends of the Fall, dude, I give you, like, go watch it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right, they're on so Legends of the Fall and Red Hill. They're both on the list.
On the list, yeah. So that one, Tristan Ludlow, Brad Pitt's character, I'd hang out with him and just be like, dude, what are you doing for your skin? How are you doing that?
This is like when chicks would be like, I'd be like Brad Pitt, a night with Brad Pitt. Chicks like, I don't really reckon he's that attractive. I'm like,
that's fucking insane. Okay,
you.
watch Legends of the Fall. You'd spear tackle her if she said that, because it doesn't make sense.
Also, I'm like, if he's not attractive, beautiful. Like, what are we doing? What are you with Danny DeVito? Like, what do you want? Like Brad Pitt's like, they're like, he's like too good looking. I'm like, as if that's a problem.
I think, not a hot take, Brad Pitt's looks have held him back. I mean, he's one of the most famous actors of all time. Yeah. But in terms of perception of his talent, he's fucking good, man. Like, he's a really good actor. Character-wise, like, just whatever. Everyone's just like, oh, it's Brad Pitt. He's so beautiful. I'm like, dude, he's good. He's really good.
I agree with you. I know what you're saying there. That's happened with a few people. There's a few people that are like that. I mean, it's like that's part of the whole thing with Henry Cavill as well. You know, even Tom Hardy. Like some of the thing is just like people are so enamored by the way they look.
Sure.
That sometimes they'll do a role. Like so for me, like Tom Hardy's like Bane, right?
Yeah.
That movie, people didn't really like that movie that much, but to me, that's always weirdly my kind of it got like bad reviews for some reason. Like people liked it, but I think that the Heath Ledger one kind of blew people away.
Oh, sure.
And so to me, like, I think people are like, nah, Tom Hardy's done better movies. And I'm like, I guess he kind of has. But to me, Bane was such a weird thing that to me, that's me looking at him going like, that doesn't look like you, doesn't sound like you, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that if someone does something super abstract, that's their best role.
No, but it just what resonated with you.
Well, to me, it was the most like, that's not Tom Hardy. Where to me,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll see Tom Hardy and it's like, he can just blow people up and kill people in a movie.
Sure.
I still love it.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm not like, whoa.
Whoa, yeah. Did you know that he based the voice off a gypsy boxer?
Oh, did he really?
I'll have to send you the clip. He based it off a guy who was like he found footage on him. He was like a bare knuckle boxer that would be like a traveling gypsy guy. And he pitched it to Chris Nolan and he was like, yeah, I think it's, when you're fighting a man, like he was like, trying to kill me, do that whole thing. And he pitched it to Chris Nolan. There's a clip on it. I'll have to find it. And he basically says, Chris Nolan was like, yeah, give it a try.
Well, yeah. And then they had
it became iconic.
change it heaps, right?
Yeah, well, because he wanted to do something, but psychologically, this is what good actors understand. Actors understand psychologically what works. Anthony Hopkins knew that Hannibal Lecter is more unsettling if he's very gentle and he's very still and he's very succinct. And he knew that that's going to disturb people. Tom Hardy knew that if he does like it's not tough. Like it's already tough. Go the opposite. Have this like
Comical.
musicality, comical, and then your behavior. Do you know what I mean? Like these are not accidents. They make these choices, and a great director or a great filmmaker will nurture that and be like, yes, I get you.
Yeah, like I always get him mixed up with the other guy, which I think everybody does. It's not Javier Bardem. I don't think it's him. It might be, but him and another guy look like each other.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
No, the guy who was in No Country for Old Men. It might be Javier Bardem.
That is Javier Bardem.
It is.
That is
Okay,
Javier
there we
Bardem.
go.
Yeah.
Another good example
Sure.
of just like dude who's just super fucking unsettling and weird.
Yeah.
And that movie's like now kind of gone down as like one of the best,
Sure.
ever. I mean, it's Coen Brothers, so
Yeah.
he did well. But like another example of what you're saying, where like he brought something to that role that, probably most people wouldn't have been able to.
And then when he's speaking about it, whether he's being self-deprecating or not, he says that he didn't know how to speak English that well, so that's why he speaks weird.
Yeah, which is great.
And everyone's like, oh, it wasn't a choice. He's like, no, I was just like, I wasn't very good at speaking English. And they gave me an Oscar.
That's when you know someone's just born to do something.
Yeah,
right?
he's just, that's the role. It's like you've met the role, but you're fucking ready to go,
Yeah. Well, look, we found out you were meant to be on The Boys. If you were going to have a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh.
You'd be the guy with that has the huge.
Dude, flight would be sick. No, flight would
I
be
was
sick.
waiting for the huge dick, and you were like,
huge,
the guy that knocks
smacking
people out.
with a huge pain.
Flying, kind of.
Mate, already completed. What's the in between thing?
This is where Homelander gets. It sucks because it's just like he's got everything.
He's got everything, yeah, but he doesn't have a mum, So that's his whole thing. He wants the milk and he wants love.
Yeah, milk is good.
Milk is good, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think flight, but obviously the ability to not get cold and all that stuff as well. Like you got to be able to fly and not be like, oh, I'm freezing.
I
up
want
here.
to be able to fly, but also like temperature regulation.
Temperature regulation, like you can fly, but you can handle the flight, and you can fly kind of up, and you're still sweet. You know
don't
what I mean?
have to have like 45,000 calories to maintain the
exactly.
The
You just say,
expenditure.
you burn. Yeah, totally.
No one thinks about this stuff. Man.
Dude, I think about all that. I'm like, flight alone is shit because you can never really get out of the the clouds.
I'm with you.
So
Yeah.
no flight, but then obviously the temperature
And can you
regulation.
fucking see anything at all?
Say again.
Like you'd have to.
Oh,
have
you'd
some
have to go like these fucking perspex things. And you'd have
crazy.
to,
That was very fish-like, but crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy frame rate. You'd have to have like 6,000 frames per second in your eyes just so you could take in stuff. Because if
Yeah.
you're flying like a jet, man,
you're not going to know what's happening.
you're not going to see shit.
You're not going to know what's happening. That's a great point. I never even thought of that. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to need some dope ass glasses too.
You just fly up and then just straight into a fucking tree because you can't see anything.
Yeah, but it would just be, I mean, traveling internationally would obviously just be a waste of time.
Depends how long it took you. How fast can you fly?
Yeah, and like, what's the real realities of how much calories am I burning, all that kind of stuff. Am I getting tired? Is flight effortless? Is it like, does it hurt? I'm like, I gotta go.
Never talk about it, right?
Right, so there's,
Can you lay on your back and just like scroll reels?
Yeah,
Like going
dude.
like 600 kilometers.
See, that would be sick, but I don't like flying in a plane, so that would be fine. I just think it would be like, I'm out kind of thing, just to fly off would be dope. Like if I was like, thanks guys, and I just kind of levitated and went out would be a fun
I think
thing.
Austin would be pissed because you'd probably go through like the ceiling.
No, not through the ceiling, just out the front door, but like.
But would you start flying from this position?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
How awkward would that be? He's like at like
dick level as it goes by.
He's just at our height. Austin's like, that's not even impressive. I'm already that high.
I can jump that high. I'm like, well, wait till I get outside, Austin. I don't want to fuck up your roof.
Follow me outside. He's like, nah, I'm not following you.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I think, that would be the flight thing. And then I'm trying to keep it under wraps. But the one thing, to circle back just quickly, I'll finish on this. What you asked me about, if there's one role I'd like to play, and then you asked me about the powers, I was like, I am trying to develop and look into like getting the rights to the Jason Todd story, which is Batman.
Okay.
So in the DC universe, I think what they did with the Penguin with HBO, I imagine like a very gritty story centered around Jason Todd, who, if people don't know, in the Batman universe is Robin, one of the Robins. He's the second Robin. Dick Grayson was first, who then goes on to become Nightwing. But Jason Todd is like a street kid who comes from like the streets of Gotham, and he figures out Batman as Bruce Wayne just by his own powers of detection. And, basically Batman takes him in and he trains him. And then what essentially happens is that they disagree on the whole killing people thing. And eventually they have kind of a bit of a falling out, and the Joker kidnaps and kills Jason Todd, so you think. And then years later, someone comes back called the Red Hood, who's like a villain, and he's just fucking up Batman. He knows all of Batman's tricks, all these things, and it's eventually, he realizes it's Jason Todd and he didn't die. And but my point is it's just like, I feel like, what role could I imagine I would play in a superhero world? I think I could pull off a Robin. I think I have the physicality to look for it. I'm right around the right age. And I think if you did it in like a HBO Penguin style of like real gritty from the perspective of the streets of Gotham, like you don't focus on Batman, you focus on this street kid who, deals with all this stuff and then comes up and is trained. And, I just think that there's it's just rife with drama. And I think that you could do like a mini series, and you could do like the first few episodes about, maybe the first episode with like, real young Jason Todd as a kid, and then him, and then the time with Robin, and then maybe even season 2 or whatever, he comes back as the Red Hood, and it's this whole thing. I just think that it's rife with drama, and I want that role. I think I can play Jason Todd. So James Gunn, if you're out there and you're listening to Most Isolated, what's up, dude?
Just if you're listening.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
You'd have to hit up the guy from the Wiggles and just be like, when your baby grows up like a little bit more.
Yeah. I've got a baby on the way too.
Oh, yeah. But imagine if you got 2 then.
And then, right. Interchange
they're
when they get tired.
age, though.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine.
His kid might be a little bit
older, so he can play the young one.
Dude.
I see what you're saying.
Might be something there.
All right, I'm going to hit up John Pierce's kid.
yeah. Email the kid if he's got an email.
What's your kid's rate?
What's his email? I love that. They already did that on Titans a little bit, though.
That was, do they cover Red Hood?
Yeah, Jason Todd, and the Joker kills Jason Todd in that.
Okay, cool.
It's not done the greatest though. I like your idea. The show didn't have a lot of money, but Alan
was Hawkman or Hawk.
Nighthawk. Hawkman.
Hawk guy.
I like
just Hawk.
Hawkman just sounds like a guy who like has a hawk,
yeah,
but can't control it very well.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Don't look him in the eyes.
Hawkman.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting one, and it's funny that Alan's in that. That was like a role that he kind of just did on the side.
Yeah, I met in LA the guy who works at CW or whatever, and they obviously handle a lot of the DC universe. And I said it to him. I was like, I will find you and I will hurt you if I find out that there's a role that you do a Jason Todd story and you didn't call me and you didn't give me a chance.
I love that it's CW as well. Like he's like, these are our offices. If you look to your left, there's our shitty CGI department, and everyone in there is just like everything looks like really too green and like everything looks like Jello and stuff. And he's like, great work, guys.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
I need water. He slams the door.
He's like, we're redoing The Flash. You're like, oh no.
That's so good. Yeah. No, I think that would be a dream role in terms of, the Hollywood machine. I think something that could work tonally. Yeah. The Jason Todd story in the vein of Penguin, how they did the Penguin, which was like gritty and great acting. And
I haven't watched it, but I need to watch it.
Oh, dude. It's really fucking good.
I loved
You don't even know it's like you forget that it's like, oh, this is a Batman comic.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like not the same, but like what Nolan did with like The Dark Knight. You're like, this is a fucking comic book thing, but it's like, you're like, oh, I'm getting into it's like, the Penguin is all about relationship. It's like, it's relationship.
Matt Reeves as well?
No, not Matt Reeves. I don't actually know who directed that one. But I know it's a HBO series, which was just phenomenal. Like the cinematography, everything, it reads like a fucking crime drama.
You can always trust HBO, right? I feel like every time we watched something called The Outsider, Stephen King book that they made. It's got Ben Mendelsohn in it. Yeah. Jason Bateman directed a lot of it.
Wow.
He's in it. And it was the kind of thing where it's just like, you're just watching it and you're just like, fuck, everything looks amazing.
Yeah.
They've always got such good casting. Like if we watch a trailer and HBO comes up, I'm like, we're watching this.
If I can land at HBO or Apple TV, baby, we're good. Like that's the world. Like Apple TV do great stuff too. And I think that, that's the dream, man.
Well,
Keep chugging away.
Good luck with it.
Thank you, bro.
I hope that I run into you in 10 years.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm like, remember we did? You're like, I don't fucking know that guy.
Yeah.
And security like pull me off, and I'm
I'll
like,
never forget you, Derek.
we did a
He's
podcast.
like, that's not my name.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's going to be a name that's completely could not be further from mine. Yeah. And like honestly, man, I'm really excited to see what you do next. Obviously,
Thanks, man.
you've done a few things now, which
Sure.
I'll talk about after.
Yeah.
But this was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go and watch War Machine so it can have 112,000,001 views from you watching it. And brother, all the best.
Thank you.
Your inspiration for chasing your dream has inspired me.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me. I had heaps of fun. I'm a Perth boy. So I love that you got a Perth-based podcast, and we do have a lot of talent here. And man, I hope you'll have me again if there's more shit to talk about.
Once you do the Jason Todd thing, we're on.
Yeah,
Straight after that.
I'll wear my sunnies inside for that. That's when I've really lost my mind to Hollywood, and I'm just like, let me tell you something. Give up on your dreams. I'm even more negative. I'm even more jaded.
You've got like 2 suits on.
The double suit.
Just sweating from it too.
Clearly on coke. Thinning. Nah, man, it's awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Cheers.